Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. All right, in Arizona, Governor Katie Hobbs wants $512 million from Joe Biden for border stuff. Come on, Katie, give him hell. Joe Biden's declared war on electric power. He can't make this up. If you follow everything that John Kerry and he wants to do relative to electric power, guess what? He'll shut down 60% of the electric grid. Unbelievable. Macy's has a $5 billion offer. $5 billion offer. I say sell, baby, sell. Joe goes out to Hollywood and has a fundraiser grabbing all that money. This is the problem with our country, folks. Raising the money from the Hollywood woke folks, then the paybacks are hell. Illinois has approved small-scale nuclear reactors. Good for them. We ought to have nuclear reactors everywhere. That's the future right there. 39% of Americans skip a meal to pay rent or their mortgage payment. Wow, wow, wow. The Cigna and Humana deal is off. Big deal. The Trump trial, Donald Trump was supposed to testify. Now he said he's not going to testify. You know what I always say about those people that don't want to testify? Come on, Donald. All right, Tucker is going to charge $72 for a subscription service. Why would anybody pay money like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. How come folks just can't make an honest living? Santos is spilling beans everywhere. He says female and male congressmen and congresswomen are hooking up left and right. You know what? George Santos might be a scumbag, but do you disbelieve that? I don't. All right. There is lots of stuff going on relative to Trump and Tucker. Apparently, Donald Trump is warming to the idea of Tucker Carlson as his VP. Sheila Jackson, the outspoken crazy woman, lost her election Saturday to be mayor of Houston. Thank God Almighty. And Alex Jones is going back to X. Elon Musk had everybody vote, and apparently 70% of X users said, let him back. So Alex Jones is back. By the way, Tucker Carlson cozied up to him a little bit. A little too much for my liking. I'll be honest with you, I go against the grain of my base here. I think Alex Jones is a whack job. What he said relative to the slaughter of children in that Connecticut school is unforgivable to me. It's a bridge too far. $470 tree was returned to Home Depot. The problem was it had already been returned once. Folks, you can only return things one time. Kids are not all right. The pressure on kids is overwhelming. Can you imagine what it's like to be a kid these days? It's got to be rough. Elon Musk says Nikki Haley's campaign is dead. We'll see about that. Trump says Giuliani's the greatest mayor in the history of New York. He might be right. Casey DeSantis really screwed up. She basically said for out-of-town moms and grandmas to go to Iowa and vote. Oops. Man, this campaign just self-destructed from the beginning. Ted Turner owns the most land of anybody in Nebraska. And there's concerns what happens to it after he dies. We'll see. Congress stock trades. If you want to know how to buy stock, just follow Congress. The stocks that congressmen and congresswomen buy do 50% better than all other stock trades. FBI whistleblowers lawyers said the FBI tried to cover it up, all of it. Remember I joked about Putin's going to want to take Alaska back from us when we bought it in the Seward's folly way back in the day? Well, lo and behold, a Putin ally says Putin is considering whether or not he wants to invade Alaska. Prophet I am. Manchin says that the deal that Joe Biden did relative to inflation is illegal. Interesting allegation. Liz Miguel, the president of University of Penn, has had to resign based upon her backlash of her testimony. Blame the lawyers. You know who told those presidents what to say? The lawyers. Barbados wants $4.9 trillion in reparations. From who? Us? Doomsday. 575 bunkers. You can get one for $55,000. I'm going to buy one. Meathead Movers is being sued by the Biden administration for their sexist ways. Hunky men. Unbelievable. Soros apparently gave $50 billion to some groups, $50 million to some groups that were pro-Iran. Mackenzie Scott has given away $2.1 billion in 2023. Good for her. That, of course, is Jeff Bezos' ex. Even Bill Maher says he doesn't have any problems with the sentiment about what you can't do in a small town. You know what Bill Maher is? A rational, old-school liberal. 199,000 jobs added in November. Not a bad month. RNC says no more debates. Finally. McCarthy says he would love to serve in the Trump cabinet. Why not? 45% of real estate agents apparently are struggling financially. Uh-oh. Hunter cried Friday about the Republicans coming after him based upon his indictments. And there are some military folks that says, be on guard for a China Pearl Harbor-like hit. Wouldn't shock me. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Local News. We're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Park Shoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, in law and crime, this Curry's bacon-fed scut right here, Desmond Wallace, was arrested. He had his 2-week-old son hospitalized. Skull fracture, injuries to the mouth, bruises to the arm and legs. So they weren't accidental. Resulted trauma. Messed up. How bad's the economy? 1,000 baby diapers were stolen from a northern Kentucky food bank. 1,000. That's how rough it is. Now, this story is a sad one. A man says he does not want to apologize. He does not want an apology from his ex-girlfriend and still loves her, even though she shot him in the testicle. Charlie Glenn says the charges against 36-year-old Tanya Nestor are from when she shot him. Would you want your woman back if she blew off one of your balls?
No way.
No damn way. How do you not believe that? Oh my God, it makes me want to pass out just thinking about it. Whew. Local news. School threats, a bunch of school threats all over, claiming to be a Russian terrorist over the weekend, bombs and everything else. Apparently, it was all a hoax, nothing to worry about. A Butler County man is indicted. He apparently did a $1 million scam relative to romance. Stealing money from people in the name of love. Shame on him. By the way, remember that guy that they found dead way down, like it was in Owensboro, from a guy that escaped from prison? They arrested somebody. Turns out the way they escaped, they got in the prison dumpster. Not a bad escape plan, right? Newport police are adding Teslas to their fleet. Can you imagine you go on a police chase and you run out of electric charge? I mean, isn't that an issue? All right, the Boone County school superintendent, who's been under fire a lot, Matthew Turner, is resigning. I know a lot of people that are happy about that. In Kentucky news, guess what tomorrow is? Not this guy. He's apparently going to play. Bashir's inaugural's tomorrow. You going? Hell no, me neither. All right, Julian Carroll, 92 years old, passed away. He used to be governor, then he was a state legislature, but then he had a little bit of scandal. Young boys. Sorry, I'm not going to say rest in peace. Tornadoes hit Tennessee, but they also apparently hit Todd County. All the best for them. A woman was getting a lift ride. This is an interesting story. She was getting a lift ride. She was supposed to go north in Cincinnati. Instead, he took her to Kentucky, and that's when she called the cops. Good move. Can you imagine that? Bree Leadsom was the smart woman that did that. Senators Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell, no friends of mine, are fighting back against punitive tariffs against Kentucky's bourbon and spirits. All right. Interesting. An audit of the Kentucky Community Technical College system, which Ryan Quarles is going to take over at the end of the year, showed a lot of mismanagement. I'm sure Ryan will clean it up. I don't think Ryan's a crook. He's just a professional bureaucrat. Governor Beshear said $656 million has been placed on sports betting, way above what they expected. And guess what? There's going to be a Kentucky faith trail coming to you from the same folks who gave us the Ark. All right. This story is funny. Apparently there was a UCLA study that was released that said Kentucky was the gayest state in the country. No. Then they adjusted it and said, well, maybe not. Maybe they messed up the numbers. But who would have ever guessed? When I was running for governor, I was pointing out where Kentucky ranks, like in the bottom where they shouldn't be or at the top where they shouldn't be. Well, if I was running for governor, I would have another thing to add to the category. Number one in Gatum. I'm cracking myself up. I thought we were hillbillies, not homos. And the top Democrat in the House is going to retire. Why not Derek Graham from Frankfort? Because they're not going to pass any bills. I'd retire too. In Ohio news, they passed a homestead exemption expansion. Just check it out. The bottom line is you're going to save money on properties through homestead exemptions. And Doug Evans won his first round against the state of Ohio relative to the cleanup on his site. Good for you, Doug. I'm a Doug Evans supporter. I think he's been unfairly picked on. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.
Hello again, you're watching Eric Deters World News. This is Jamie Spinley with the latest headlines. A French court has convicted 6 teenagers in connection with the 2020 beheading of a history teacher, Samuel Paty, whose murder shocked the country. In a decision over the weekend, the court found 5 of the 6 defendants, aged 14 through 15 at the time of the attack, guilty of helping the attacker identify the teacher. The 6th defendant was found guilty of lying about the content of a classroom debate that sparked anger at the teacher. A United States F-16 fighter plane crashed into waters off the coast of South Korea early hours this morning. The pilot was rescued after ejecting when the aircraft experienced an in-flight emergency. The crash happened during a routine training mission over the Yellow Sea. The cause of the incident is being investigated. 3 people have been stabbed in Liverpool, England, in what police are calling a shocking incident. 2 men and a woman, all in their 30s, were taken to hospital after sustaining stab and slash wounds at a property in Toxteth. They have been treated for serious injuries. And Serbia yesterday completed the interconnector to a pipeline in Bulgaria, allowing the Balkan country to diversify its gas supplies and reduce its dependence on Russia. An opening ceremony for the pipeline was attended by the Serbian and Bulgarian president. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, thank you for watching Eric Deters World News. Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American cheering Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries. Well, how about those Bengals? They defeated the Colts at home, 34-14, home being the Bengals. And for the first time in the history of the NFL, guess what we had? We had a thumb cramp.
Why a thumb cramp?
I couldn't believe it. Jake Browning left the game for a little bit. So A.J. McCarron, I thought his thumb was broken. It was only a thumb cramp. Every quarterback that's an announcer said they've never had a thumb cramp in the history of the world. But Jake Browning tore it up. We got to keep on winning, folks. We're in the wild card hunt. We have to keep on hitting it. And then last night, the Dallas Cowboys destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles with 3 turnovers, a lot of good offense, 33-13. By the way, the defense did not allow the Eagles a touchdown. The one touchdown came on a fumble, Dak Prescott fumble where he was hit, and they did a pick 6 fumble recovery. Guess who is leading now the NFC East? The Dallas Cowboys. All right, the Bills, 20-17. What a game this was. More about it in a minute. The Vikings, I got to report this game solely because of the score. Do you believe this, Josh Wentz? 3-0. I want to know when the last time an NFL game ended 3-0. This is like a soccer score.
3-0.
Baseball. And guess who the Bengals' next opponent is? The Vikings at home at the Bengals. And guess what? Jefferson is hurt. He may not play. All right, tonight, 2 games. Packers and the Giants, Titans and the Dolphins. And don't forget, next week, folks, they start Saturday games, and the Bengals play at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Now, back to the Kansas City games. Mahomes. I stand with Patrick Mahomes. I was rooting for the Chiefs because I wanted the Chiefs to beat the Bills because of the wild card situation. And I can tell you right now, do you believe that they called offensive offsides on a receiver? It has been like one of 11 times this year. Last year it was called 5 times. Year before that, only once. And I agree with it because Kelsey's play was incredible. Kelsey got the ball, was running it, threw it back to the receiver, touchdown. I mean, I don't blame Mahomes for going bonkers. I was thinking about this, folks. We think the referees are awful. How would you like to be a player? Playing the game, it's your job. All that's at stake, and you're a player, even if you do make millions bucks. This just proves Mahomes might be rich as hell. What does he care about? Winning football games. Bronny, LeBron James' son, returned to the USC court. USC lost in overtime, but Bronny played and played well. And Zach Wilson, the Jets scored 30 points, and they beat the Texans. How you like that? Zach Wilson is back. And Flacco leads the Browns to victory over the Jags. Right. Wow. Flacco's back. Woohoo. The big news in sports is Ohtani signed a $700 million deal with the Dodgers. There's rumors that it might be paid over 25 years. Now, it was first reported that it was Toronto Blue Jays. Now, he wants to stay in California. The Dodgers have the money. But folks, how many times do these long-term contracts work out? Never. Never. Talk to the Reds about Joey Votto. Do you think Ohtani is going to stay at the pace that he has the last 10 years? These players are getting paid for what they've done in the past, not what they're going to do in the future. The odds are this will be a bust, but we'll see what happens. All right, Chaman Matayer, tight end for the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, is going to Colorado. See, Dion keeps picking him up. Now, this was interesting, the Bengals game. Minshew, after a play got up, I don't know if you all saw him, he walked back like sideways. Nobody took him out. Man, his bell was rung. Now, this is the funniest story in sports today. Nick Foles, the former Philadelphia Eagle and every place else he played, Super Bowl champion, is becoming a pickleball champion. You have to admit, look how tall he is, agile, so forth and so on. You watch, because pickleball, people are making money. Former pro athletes are going to start playing pickleball. We were once going to become pickleball champs. We don't have a chance anymore because Nick Foles is the champ. That's a funny story. University of Kentucky Saturday beat Penn, coming out party for Aaron Bradshaw, the 7'1" center for University of Kentucky, was all world. DePaul 75, Louisville 68 over the weekend. The Titans, Frank Wycheck, 52 years old, died falling off a ladder at home. You know, I say all the time about getting on a ladder at home. Pay somebody to get on a ladder at home so you don't fall and kill yourself. All right, the Lakers won the in-season tournament. They beat the Pacers. Big deal. Covenant Catholic they were ranked number 3, beat Newport, who was ranked number 1, 73-63 this weekend. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy. Congratulations. That's who I would have voted for. Josh Giddey. Adam Silver says, hey, we don't suspend people just on allegations. So there you go. Xavier beat UC in the Crosstown shootout, 84-79. This was a shocker to me. I picked the Bearcats to win that one. The Blackhawks are standing up to the woke folks. They say their name will not change. They will stay the Blackhawks. Brock Vandegrift from Georgia is transferring to UK, which is interesting because UK's quarterback's coming back. Victor is unbelievable. Wimbayama had his first 20 games, he's broke all kind of records, all the things that he's done. He's a real deal. Raymond Cottrell from Texas A&M, a receiver. He's transferring to UK. Daniel Thomas from Bell County. Congratulations, young man. Look at those biceps. He is Mr. Football. That's the oval football, Jamie, not the round soccer ball.
We would say American football.
All right, NFL says Joe Burrow and the Bengals did nothing wrong. The investigation is over. They bought that his wrist was, in fact, they was just using that carbon or copper stuff to help decompression on his wrist. Marvin Harrison Jr., he won the best receiver, and it looks like he is going to go pro. Nike is cutting ties with Tiger. Shocker. Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son from USC, is going pro. Chris Everett, God love her, I had a crush on her when she was a hot tennis player. Her cancer's come back. That's always bad. And UC is apparently the dodgeball champions. How do you like that? The UC dodgeball team. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Pop Culture. Let's get right with it. Well, the latest on Take, that's Travis and Taylor Swift. Guess what? She was consoling him after the game. They left together. By the way, remember, I'm a supporter of this couple. All right, now this is really disturbing me because I admit that I pick my nose. Man, if I got something clogged up there, I'd pick it out. Now, I do it privately. But they say nose picking could cause Alzheimer's because it stops the screening of crap going to your brain. I say BS. They're just trying to stop me from picking my nose. I will continue to pick my nose in private when I'm clogged up. You know, if you blow your nose really hard and it all doesn't come out, what are you supposed to do? You got to pick it. All right, Aaron Rodgers, he and his girlfriend broke up. Big deal. Aaron's going through women like this. All right, Jake Roberts, Snake the Jake, the pro wrestler, said the following three wrestlers smelled horrific. By the way, one of the reasons why I have never got into wrestling, I don't want to be that close to people. At least in karate, we had gis on. You know? Vader, King Kong Bundy, and the British Bulldog. The British Bulldog, Jamie, smelled really bad, he says. What do the Brits have to say about their British Bulldog wrestler smelling so bad Jake Roberts could barely handle it? All right. An aviation YouTuber and her father, pictured here, both passed away when her plane crashed. Recently, her airplane started to malfunction, and it didn't crash. Uh-oh. Sofia Vergara, guess what? She's apparently stiffing subcontractors and contractors in her house, allegedly. You know, I have to admit, I would think Sofia Vergara would be a bitch, but who knows? Charlie Sheen, back in 1996, you gotta love crazy Charlie. He once purchased 2,615 seats in Anaheim so he could catch a home run ball. In other words, he bought almost all the seats. It didn't work. He was out there with his glove. Apparently, snakes were a problem at Graceland. They must not have had snake away back then. And Elvis resorted to shooting him with his gun. I tell you what, you got to be a pretty good shot to shoot a snake with a gun, right? All right, Kate and William released their Christmas picture. And all the reports are what this photograph reflects is a strong couple, strong family saying F you to Meghan and Harry. Station 19. A popular show, apparently for 7 years on ABC, is being canceled. I never watched it, so I don't care. Ryan O'Neal died at 82 years old. He had a great life and then a screwed up life, including screwing it all up with Farrah Fawcett. And speaking of Farrah Fawcett, she allegedly, for the last 30 years of her life, had a fling with her college boyfriend from Texas, a former quarterback. Apparently, they met up all the time. You know what my number one girl of all time is? Farrah. If I was married to Farrah, I wouldn't have screwed it up. Ryan. Drew Barrymore. This is disturbing to me. Drew Barrymore says that she had a boyfriend she had to break up with because he napped too much. What the hell? Drew, you and I will never be together. OJ says he's slaying women out there. OJ. You know, this guy is dying to tell the world that he's committed that murder. You know, he's did that book, What If I Did Do It? You know, this is going to be a deathbed confession. He's going to tell the world. Tom Brady picked up Irina to go to the Leonardo DiCaprio party. Speaking of Leonardo, apparently, according to a waitress that waited on him in New York, said he smelled like crap. Maybe he was in character. Although pictured here, Leonardo looks like he might smell. All right, hospice nurse, kind of a cool story. Hospice nurse who's seen 5,000 people die says that at the end of their lives, they see things, talk about things, seeing their family. They have a rally and then they pass away, but it gives hope to the afterlife. Snoop Dogg says, what the hell's going on? He's got 1 billion followers and ain't making no money on Spotify. I'm with you, Snoop. Sam Haskell, this is the Hollywood producer who killed his whole family, showed up without a shirt on at his arraignment. Never seen that before. And last but not least, this is kind of funny. A group of people broke into Keanu Reeves' house and stole some guns. Who breaks in to John Wick's house? You don't break into John Wick's house. I wonder if they killed his dog. And by the way, for the record, John Wick, a.k.a. Keanu Reeves, really does train in martial arts and really does shoot a lot and everything else. In other words, Keanu Reeves really is John Wick. He's going to hunt them down because he's got a special set of skills too. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.